Welcome, Ravens. You're listening to Raven's Ramblings, and of course, as always, I am your host, Morrigan Raven. And I'm again joined by the wonderful MissJigglePuff. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing since last time we spoke?
Yeah, I'm alright, cheers.
You alright? Alright, girl? Oh, you alright? I'm alright. So today's episode is episode 12. I can't believe we've got this far. And we are talking today fashion contradictions, which could cover a lot of things. But you know me, I like my 2-word titles. So we are talking about our fashion, because we're both in the kind of alternative community, but our fashions are very, very different.
Yes.
And basically about just fashion in general.
Yeah.
Good points, bad points, rules, all that kind of stuff.
There should be no rules.
There should be no rules. So what's your take on fashion in general? I mean, you're kind of eclectic because you like rockabilly, you like goth, you like pin-up, you like...
I do. I like a bit of everything. I think I love all the eras. I love the Victorian stuff. I love everything. Throw a bit of Tudor ruffle in there. Throw,
Do like a good ruffle.
Yes. Who doesn't? I love mixing it up. I don't think... there's a few rhymes, and the rhymes always change. Pink and green should never be seen.
I always thought it was blue and green.
Then I've also heard that pink and red. So it changes wherever you go, because in college, at university, when I was doing fashion, it was pink and green should never be seen.
Okay.
But then I heard on TV the other day, someone up north said pink and red should never be said, or something like that, and it was a whole rhyme. So okay. I think it's different wherever you go, but that just proves that that's absolute Rolex, because
I've seen so much clashing fashion in colours and colour blocking, and
I just think it's all down to your skin tone, and then even then I'm just like, do you know what? Just wear whatever you want.
Who cares?
Because sometimes I think it's nice to clash, because I'm pale, and I've had every hair colour under the sun. And then there's loads of people who say, oh, I prefer you with darker hair. Some other people are like, oh, no, you suit colourful hair better. And some other people are like, oh, you should just be natural. And then it all changes. But then everyone always says, but you can always pull off any hair colour.
But it's like we were chatting before about when I put mine. It's like, oh, yeah, well, the teal's your colour. Oh, no, it's the green's your colour. I bet the next one I do will be, it'll be this colour.
Yeah.
I think I'm sticking green for a long while because I really like this green.
It looks really good, yeah.
But, coming with colours, I think as long as you are within the right tone, you can pretty much put anything together.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't put a kind of daffodil yellow with a neon green, but you could put daffodil yellow with an emerald green, because they're in the same colour section. Scheme.
See, whereas that's where I'm completely different. I'm like, nah, rock it up.
I could see you doing it though.
Yeah,
but you get away with it.
Yeah, I do get away with quite a lot. I'm quite lucky like that. But it's not lucky. It's just, I think it's if you have the Rolex to pull it off, do it. But I think you also have to. I think so many times I've dyed my hair over the years with the colours, because I have had literally nearly every colour now, because I've got some new colours out Directions.
I know. I keep looking at that storm grey, going, can I?
Yeah.
Can I pull it off?
And I'm just like, oh, do you know what? The only one I hadn't had out of the yellows was the daffodil yellow, and I did put that in my hair a little while ago, but it just didn't really take to my hair.
Oh, that's good to know, because that was going to be one of the ones I thought about.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it does work, but I had put the fluorescent yellow underneath first.
That could be why then.
So I think that's why I didn't take, because the fluorescent yellow was under, and then the daffodil would go over. But I love the fluorescent yellow. Fluorescent yellow is amazing, and I mixed that with. I had fluorescent yellow with purple. I've had fluorescent yellow with blue, and I with orange, with pink. I had it once, so I hadn't made it look like flame was going through my hair.
So it's a bit daft then asking you if you have to change the way you dress depending on your hair colour. Because I just wear black, and as long as my blacks match, I'm okay.
I don't. That's one thing that always amazes me, that people are like, oh, I can't wear like red because my hair colour. Like, what the hell? You're matching things with your hair colour? Like, no, just do you. Like,
yeah, but you are talking to the girl that matched her hair with her jewellery and her body piercings and everything, because I had that aqua set that was stunning and it matched my hair.
Yeah, but that's nice. It's like if you've got jewelry and you think, oh, that looks sick with my hair,
Yeah.
you do it. But I can't imagine thinking, oh, I can't wear my red dress because I have green hair, because that would just look amazing.
Again, I don't have this problem. I wear black.
But if you did happen to get a very sick red dress,
I've got a red dress, but it's like a dark purpley plum, which I think.
Yeah.
So I say it's red, but it's got that kind of deep maroon, purpley undertone
Yes,
to it.
yes, I know the colour.
So when I bought it, it said it was red.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's more maroon, really.
Yeah.
But I think I could pull that off with green hair. I don't see an issue with that.
I think you shouldn't be scared to clash your colours in some ways. Some people don't want to do it because it's too bold. I think when it comes to your hair colour, some people are like, oh no, I can't wear this colour because my hair's got this in it. I think that's a little bit extreme, because I think at the end of the day, your face is what's toned by your hair. From the face down, that's just what you're wearing.
And there's no reason why you can't say you've got, bright orange hair.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking ginger, I'm talking bright orange.
I had the tangerine
Directions. I loved it. I had mine that colour. I loved it.
So long, and I went to a burlesque night, and it was the most popular hair colour I've ever had, and it was absolute divine. And
I had tangerine with cerise underneath. I had the back split with cerise.
I've had that. God, orange hair is living your best life. When you go for your orange stage, it's good.
But if you want to wear a purple dress or a green dress and don't want to look like a pumpkin or anything, just tie your hair up.
Yeah,
put your hair up in a bun, or just make that
hair colour. You've got to remember, your hair is separate to your clothes. It's more to do with your makeup.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're gonna be having a clash of particular your clothes, your thing, I personally think it's to do with what's in the middle. So it's your face. So maybe tone down your makeup. So do more natural makeup. Whereas me, I wouldn't, because I would do what the hell I want.
You'd do one eye orange and one eye green, just for the hell of it.
But if I still wanted to wear purple eyeshadow and I had orange hair and I was going to wear a red dress, I'd still do it. But then maybe I would wear a lighter, more nudie, purpley kind of lip, maybe. But if people don't want to do that, I still think you need to experiment some bits on the days that you're not going out, maybe. Sometimes it takes a while to get used to colour hair. But even with fashion, if you don't have the colour hair, patterns is one thing that I absolutely love to mix up as well.
Well, there was a big trend with clashing patterns.
Yeah.
But going back to like the hair thing, I mean, like I said, I wear, as you know, an awful lot of plain black.
Yeah.
And I play with textures, so like lace and faux leather and things like that. But even with having the hair, I've broken out into bolder makeup.
Yeah, sure.
And I now wear, I have been wearing a lot of like bright green, emerald green with a purple under eye.
Yeah.
But I think just because I wear black doesn't mean to say I can't appreciate colour and see how colours go together.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I had many, many years ago, my mum took me to what I actually thought it was a dead term, but I saw it on TV not so long ago, where apparently these people do exist, and you go and get your colours done, and they look at your skin tone and they look at it under different lights and they go, okay, this colour would suit you, this would bring out your eyes, this would work for you. And I walked in with my natural hair colour, so I was probably just before my 14th birthday, because I think on my 14th I dyed it. But I think, it was just before. My mum was like, I'm sick of you wearing dark colours all the time, apart from your school uniform. I buy you bright things and you don't want to wear them. I'm like, because I feel uncomfortable in them. And I had very heavily migrated towards navy blue, charcoal, bottle green. And the chap we went to see walked in, and the first thing he said was, who the hell dyed her hair that colour? And I went, it's my natural colour. He went, get rid of it. It washes you out. It doesn't suit you. So my natural colour is like an ashy, what they used to term in the 70s, mousy brown, which basically means you have an undertone of beige with an ashy, dirty blonde over the top. And in some lights, it looks brunette. But if you go out in the sun, it just washes out to grey. It's just horrible. It's really pale and it has no depth to it. But he turned around, he did my colours, and he went, the brightest colour she should ever wear is like plum red, like maroon, because it just doesn't suit her skin tone. And she was, Mum, put her in yellow. And he's like, no, it'd look awful. So he put me in yellow, and she had to concede to the fact that actually it was not my colour.
Yeah.
It was more the kind of cool toned purples and cool toned reds, but the darker scales. So she gave up in the end. But I can see on other people, and I can appreciate colour. So if I was somebody who did wear it, and I had bright orange hair and wanted to wear a green dress, I'd put bright orange accessories with it, like a bangle or a bead necklace or an orange belt. Just something that ties it together.
Yeah, sure.
And there's no reason, I've done it before, black suit, bright red shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason why you can't wear.
Yeah, if you're wearing, and that's the thing. I think if you are, even if you're not goth and you're just drawn to all black, there's no, like, because I am more so drawn to all black these days because.
Big apologies, guys. We seem to be having some massive technical difficulties tonight. So we're going to try this second phase, round 2. So we were talking about wearing black.
Yes.
And I can't remember what we were talking about, but.
So I like wearing a black dress when I go out.
Yeah.
And I'm not a massive accessory person. Like, I would love to wear chokers, and
it's very difficult when you've got a thick neck and a short space to wear them. Yeah.
And I think they look divine, but it's just not me. And I also don't like having like something around I don't even like tight dresses or jumpers. So
I don't mind as long as it's just for a certain amount of time, because after a certain while, it's just like, I'm done now. This is choking me, and I can't be bothered.
So I basically think just like sometimes if you got a simple, nice black dress that you're wearing out, like dressing up with some nice lipstick and some nice big fancy lashes, or a belt, or some of the harnesses you wear, like my neighbour Trish said to you. Harnesses is something I really need to get into. I can never find any that kind of fit around my bubbers.
Well, I could plug Scarlett and Chains here and say they will custom make them to fit, because they fitted mine for me.
Yeah, that's something that I need to look into them. I think I need to follow them. I don't know if I follow them. You said about them before, but I'm so behind on my small companies and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think it's about finding what works for you and not being scared to try things. Don't conform to like what rules they're supposed to be out there, because what works for you doesn't work for somebody else. Like,
well, you mentioned earlier about patterns.
Yeah.
And you like to really clash your patterns. Now, I'm somebody who's not a pattern person.
Yeah.
However, if I'm wearing lace, I don't mind. It doesn't all have to be the same lace.
Yeah, of course not.
So if I've got a lace cover on a skirt that's different to the lace on the top, I'm not bothered by that.
No. I think that actually looks really beautiful when the laces are different.
But there was a big craze, maybe 4 or 5 years ago with, I've lost complete, Auntie Felicity's come in and screwed my timeline up.
Yeah.
But I don't, maybe it's 3 or 4 years ago, about like clashing your patterns. So you'd wear stripes with spots, or you'd wear a floral print with stripes. And it was like, for me, it's not a look I like.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't like it is because my brain doesn't compute patterns very easily. So for me to look at someone, it's almost like watching interference on the TV. The white snow is too much. But how do you wear? I mean, you wear a lot of clashing patterns. How do you do it, and how do you pull it off?
So one of my favourite jackets is from Topshop years ago, and it's almost like leopard printy with like little tiny leopards or cheetahs on it. And it's a little bit of a clash of prints, but you could tell it's kind of animal printy. And then I always tend to wear that because it's like a kind of creamy colour with black print on. And then it's like a long cardigan, like a jersey cardigan. And I like to wear that in the summer with like one of my dresses or whatever. And I tend to then especially wear that when I'm wearing maybe like some fishnet tights over a coloured pair of tights. And it looks really kind of like preppy. So like I can wear like a patterned skirt and a t-shirt and that, some fishnets with some like purple tights underneath, and a pair of Vans. And I just think it looks so like preppy and cool. And then people were just kind of like looking at me like, what is going on here?
Did she get dressed in the dark?
Yeah, but at the same time, I always get compliments on, because because I don't wear the jacket very often. But whenever I wear it, I'll always pick an outfit that's completely backwards. Like,
I think it's one of those things when people see it, it's first a shot. I mean, you see anybody, you see a punk who's got red tartan skinny trousers that are ripped and a ripped t-shirt and blue spikes up to the gods. You see, I mean, we had somebody who used to live round by me like that. And I think the first time you see it, it's that kind of shock factor.
yeah.
But then I think as you look more into it, there's a lot of people that are probably, I won't use the term jealous, but they have that, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And I think people have been so
programmed.
Yeah, that's a good term for it. Programmed. It kind of led down a garden path.
It's high street
this
fashion.
is what you should be wearing. This
It's
is what
street.
It's all
fed into our systems. It's all through advertising. Oh look, jeans go with a t-shirt or a jumper. That's it.
And then you look at girls. I think it was just before the summer before Auntie Felicity, so it would have been summer 19. And I was in town with the other half, and I said to him, "Why is it all these girls look the same?" And it was long, straight hair, somewhere between the shoulders and the waist, parted in the centre, kind of a natural colour about it, but maybe some highlights, and bomber jackets, cropped bomber jackets, white t-shirts, high-rise blue jeans, and slip-on like Vans or something like that, or some form of like Converse boots.
Yeah.
And it's like, you do realise you all look the same. It's like you're wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
And yet you all complain about having to wear a uniform to school.
Yeah.
And you come out of school and you all put on the same outfit from the same 5 shops.
Yeah.
And I don't get it, because everybody is now in this era of wanting to be individual. But I also think in some terms, unless people are really thinking about their outfits, that they all end up looking at, and I hate to say it, it's a bit like the Killstar phenomenon.
Yeah.
In that, Killstar have gone from a small little company in Glasgow to being owned by a conglomerate that probably don't even know how to spell Killstar. It's just like, we'll just add that to our list, thank you very much. And they're churning out this stuff that it's accessible to a lot of sizes. So you've got from your extra small to your 4XL. So we appreciate that.
Yeah.
It goes from kind of a 6'8" up to a, well, I can wear it and I'm 22 plus.
Yeah.
But it's just that thing that you can guarantee if you go out and you go to somewhere where there's a group of maybe 10 to 20 alternative people, over 50% of them are wearing Killstar.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that current goth uniform of, well, you must be wearing Killstar because that's what everyone else is wearing. It's like, but why should you wear Killstar? It's not the best brand out there. The quality's not been great. They've seen a massive increase in price for what they sell.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have got small places. I mean, I know when I'm off my clothing ban, I've actually asked for money this Christmas because I haven't bought any money. All the stuff that I would have spent on things I've saved, don't want to touch it. So I'm asking for money this Christmas. So it's come January, I can go on a shopping trip, or I can contact, there's a girl on Etsy that I'm waiting, it's sat in my basket waiting to buy it. And it's a smocked dress that she hand makes. Nice little skater skirt, comes down to the knee, little puffy sleeves, very 80s style, but it's handmade black velvet, and I want that dress.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you're going to be able to pick up in New Look or Topshop or even Killstar, because Killstar don't do that style.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that a lot of, unless you're going down the punk rave aesthetic, which is, I get confused by punk rave. They're either very Lolita and very Victoriana and that, or they're very apocalyptic, and can't find a happy medium in a lot of their stuff. But there just seems to be this And I do call it the Killstar phenomenon, that everyone bitches and moans and whinges about Killstar and their prices, yet everybody's still buying it and wearing it.
I find with Killstar, a lot of people do complain about it. You've got a lot of the under 25s who are absolutely coming all over it. And then,
they're absolutely besotted and
yeah,
obsessed with it. You're right.
And then they do complain about it, but they'll still pay full price. Whereas I think you've got the people like us who are over 25s and stuff, who are like, you know what, it is pretty shit, but some of the stuff, because some of the stuff is quite good.
Some of it's pretty good, but I have bought some of it.
Because obviously I buy stuff for Sam, my partner, and I do think that their t-shirts and stuff are really well printed. They wash well, they don't shrink.
No.
And the print is really good, and I think they've got some really good prints.
I think some of their prints are a bit dodgy. So back a couple of years ago, I was looking for pajamas.
Yeah.
And couldn't find anything comfortable.
Yeah.
And Griffin said to me, well, why don't you look at Killstar baggy t-shirts? Because they're always oversized. The ones you buy me are huge. So why don't you have a look at those and see if there's anything? And I bought the Yes, Believe Me, You're Annoying or something, the unicorn one.
Okay.
And I tell you what, I've probably washed that 10 times and half the prints come off.
Oh, really?
It was a real cheap vinyl screen print that's just gone. The colour came off it, the print's coming off. I've had to chuck it.
See, the ones that are like, the proper, the tarot card ones and stuff like that.
The ones that are printed properly, yes.
Yeah, they're really good. And I do think they're quite good value for money.
Yeah, I've got the In Goth We Trust and the Witches and the what is it? In Goth We Trust, Witches and People Are Strange. I've got that one in the oversized t-shirts.
Yeah.
And I wear those and wash them like there's no tomorrow, because they're just really easy to wear.
Tops, that are the Weirdos one, the I'm Killing You in My Mind one and stuff. And I've washed them. Yeah, I've washed them quite a lot, and they're quite good. So I do think some of their products, the problem is there's no consistency with Killstar, and that's the main problem.
No, and I don't know if it was to do with the takeover, but they used to be really good. They didn't bring out so many drops. They then went through this phase where it was a new drop every week, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, there's new stuff!" It's like, it's an obsession,
and it is.
You are
still
spending.
Like that.
It's almost like, what's the next thing? Oh well, it's I bought everything, the things that came out on Monday. When's the next drop? Oh, Monday. It's like you're willing your life away on somebody who's dropping
and the
stuff.
thing is, like you said with the other time about the pastel stuff, which I think is really cute. But I think the pastel stuff is not the when they make it then for the plus size stuff, they don't then think that sometimes the pattern needs to be changed, because it's not,
or it needs to be longer.
Yeah, and it doesn't, because the pattern doesn't work for plus size, because sometimes even on their most beautiful models, it's so unflattering, the photos they take,
and a lot of their photos are photoshopped very heavily.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that's just absolutely a disgusting garment. It's not that it's disgusting on the human. The garment looks absolutely hideous, and you're selling it at that price, and it's shoddy, and it's just disgusting.
Well, when I first started doing Facebook, because I did Facebook Lives before YouTube, I had people going to me, "I'm really glad you've done a live on the dress. I now know what it's going to look like on my body," because they never have a plus size model who doesn't have an hourglass figure.
Yeah.
And it's really disheartening. And when you look at it and they go, well, the model's wearing 3X, and going, yeah, so she's wearing a plus size, but it's hanging off her.
Yeah.
And the girl that they had with the long black hair, who was very, very pale, who was their plus size model for a long time. They then diversed into other models, and the other models they photoshopped. The girl where they took the inside of her arm out and made it completely flat because her arm was too big. And it was like, what are you doing? If the photo's not right for the dress, you can't tell me you can only afford to take one shot. Then change the pose. Do something that shows what the dress looks like, rather than just trying to make the model.
I don't know if it's, I definitely know it's the newer one. They've got such a reputation for, having sent. I know they have sent stuff out that's been tried on. It's been dodgy, and they're sending it back out anyway. They've sent things out broken with zips and stuff on.
I've had a couple of broken bags, and they've replaced them. I'm like, what do I do with the other one?
Yeah, And then you've also got the fact that they still don't do free returns, which I think is, they don't even put the paperwork in anymore.
No.
So, which really does pee me off.
Well, the last one I got a paper envelope, but they don't send the postcards out anymore.
Yeah, no, you get the.
But I get the kind of
sticky
sticky receipt.
Yeah.
But that's basically a customs declaration.
Yeah, and it's also annoying because, you know, if you want to return something, you then have to print out the return label. So
which isn't free.
Which isn't free, because as well, I have a printer so I can print it out, but not everyone has a printer. And then you have to pay the post office to print that out, and then you have to pay to return it back. Last time I sent a massive bundle of stuff back,
it's
it cost me £15 to send it back.
And this is why I put out to people, if you can, and I know a lot of people pay on Klarna, I know you do, if you can do it through PayPal, because if you need to return it, they will give you back up to £15 of your postage if they don't offer free returns. So what you can do is, if you go to the post office and you have to return something, because I've done it loads of times when I was sending stuff back with Killstar, but if you have a parcel to go back and it costs you £9, as long as you send a photo of the receipt, you can actually go into PayPal. You have to do it through the desktop site, not the app.
Yeah.
And you can go returned, and it will say how much postage you paid, and you send off the receipt, and they refund you in a couple of days.
That's really
and
good.
They actually take it off the company. It's not paid for by PayPal. They take it off the money that the company you've paid. So they kind of reclaim it. So yeah, they do that, so, you know, for anyone out there, it doesn't matter what country you're in. In the UK, it's £15. I think it's €15 in Europe and $15 in the US. But pay by PayPal, because if you do need, and that's with anyone, not just Killstar, if you need to return it and you have to pay your own shipping, they will pay up to £15. So if it's £18, then you're only £3 out of pocket.
Yeah, that's
good.
But
they will give you the money back, which is great.
That's good, yeah.
But then, you know, you have to look at Killstar against, everyone's kind of on this, I'm not buying fast fashion, I'm going to buy sustainable. But you're still buying Killstar. Now, my argument with it is Killstar a fast fashion brand? And I'm not going to go too far down this route, but I have stuff from Killstar that I've had for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's no pulled threads. It hasn't lost its shape. It still washes well. It still fits. I still wear it. That to me isn't fast fashion. However, if you compare it to a brand like Shein or ASOS, not so much, but maybe let's just use Shein for now, which is the big one that everyone has a problem with, including myself. You know, they brag about having 1,500 new drops a day. But if you look at Killstar, for the size of company they are, they're dropping, I mean, they did a drop, because I've kept an eye on what's going on, and they did a drop not too long ago that had, I think it was something like 30 items in the drop. And then the next week they dropped again.
Yeah.
And it's like,
dropping all the time.
If you think about how much they've got there, and then it's good. If you look at that pistol, I nearly said pistol then, the pastel set, that pastel suspender skirt that they brought out in lavender and baby pink, straight in clearance a week later, or 2 weeks later.
It's insane.
So it's obviously not doing them any good.
And it just shows how cheaply made it is, because they're able to put it straight into the sale.
And I've looked at the Black Friday sales, like I said, not buying anything, but just looking at it, and they're selling some of that stuff now where it's already gone 20% off because it's gone into clearance, and then they've taken another 35% off because it's Black Friday, which is still open. If you want to go and get some off clearance, go for it. But you're now talking 55% off an item that dropped 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were doing not clearance prices, sale prices on items that were on pre-order. They are either desperate because people are not buying, or there's something very, very wrong with their business strategy. Because if you're going to drop that amount, you have to have in a clear head that you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell me that you're going to have 4 or 5 items in this drop that's still being made, but part of the aesthetic that you're dropping.
Yeah.
So it's on pre-order, so it may not be available for another week or 2 weeks. And then that weekend you're going to have a massive 25% off sale. And then you're going to put it on the pre-order stuff.
Yeah.
Before it's even come out.
There's never not a sale on Killstar anymore. There's always
It's
a sale.
it just feels like they've gone very bargain basement.
I don't know.
But with elevated prices. So they're still trying to sell you this. We're a luxury occult brand, but we're going to sell it dirt cheap.
I also, especially when you compare it to brands like, you know, who are starting where Killstar did, like Disturbia, Mary Wyatt.
There is a dress I've got my eye on Mary Wyatt.
Them two brands, I love them. I find Disturbia, I have ordered a few things. I got a really nice bikini from there, the Beetlejuice one, absolutely love it. But I find with Disturbia, their clothes don't quite fit me. Their plus size well.
I haven't bought from Disturbia, but the Mary Wyatt, there's the new dress that's come up.
Which one's that?
The one with the snakes and the Black Widow spider, the black on black.
Now their printing technique, don't Mary Wyatt, you got something going on.
But they're in what way, good or bad?
Good.
Oh, good. I'm glad about that.
Going on.
But it's kind of because it's oversized. Buying their biggest size will still fit me.
Yeah, well, this is what I love about Mary Wyatt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When Mary Wyatt, and even Disturbia, to be fair, because I bought this strange and unusual dress, but I have to say, it was Disturbia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dress was too oversized because I brought my size, and Emily Boo did as well. She did the video on it, YouTube, and we were both so excited for that drop. I was like, oh my god, I need that dress, I don't care. And then I was like, okay, this is just not flattering. And then I was like, okay, I'll put belt on. No, maybe I need a smaller size. And I thought, no, because it fits this, and it just was really badly made. And I thought, for the price, actually, I want some embroidery on it or something like this.
Yeah, because wasn't it printed and not embroidered, and it was a little bit of a letdown.
It was a very big letdown. But Disturbia, I tell you what, she was just so beautiful. But Mary Wyatt, that brand, I tell you, that is like sex on.
There's a couple of dresses I'm looking at. I'm looking at the t-shirt style dress with the split, but I'm not sure on that one. But that dress with the black print on it, I'm in love with that print.
Her snake print stuff is just absolutely beautiful.
I'm just not struck on the barbed wire look. It's not, because again, it's that graphic print thing that I'm not into. But I think the black on black is stunning. Yeah. And the fact that it's the Black Widow spider, and the Black Widow spider on the print is going to go with the Black Widow spider tattoo on my sternum, almost matching up perfectly. Not that you'd be able to see it when I'm dressed, but you know what I mean. But it's just that aesthetic of, it's got a print on it, but you can only see it in a certain light. That kind of gets me. I like that. So, sorry, another break in recording there. So, you know, we've gone down the Killstar route, and I don't want to make this all about Killstar. But when it comes to like fashion rules, you said you don't believe in any rules. I kind of don't, but I do think you need to be aware of your body shape when doing things.
I mean, I think there's no rules. I think you shouldn't listen to other people's rules, but when it comes to your body, you need to be accountable for some things, obviously. I think, you know, you need to put across what you want to put across. No, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? With the rules things, you know, like, you don't want your nunny and your titties hanging out, you know.
No, certainly not at my age.
No.
Although they do make good knee warmers.
Yeah.
You know.
But the same is like, you know, you want certain skirt lengths, this, that, and the other. If you don't want the skirt lengths, that's completely fine for me. You know, I'm not great with my legs, so I like to have knee length stuff most of the time. I do go shorter if I do. Then I've got my leggings and my tights, my fancy snag tights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think when it comes to colours and stuff like that, you know how to dress for your shape. Just don't let anyone else tell you how to dress for your shape.
Yeah, I think as long as you've got
an awareness.
An awareness of your body type. Like, I know because I've got the double belly.
Yeah.
I think we discussed this before. If I wear where my actual waistline is, which is where my belly button is, then it looks awful because upper belly overhangs.
Yeah.
But if I pull my skirts to an empire line,
Yeah.
so just under my boobs, probably give about an inch and a half gap,
Yeah.
I actually get that hourglass figure because everything just skims over it.
Yeah, sure.
So I know that if I wear skater skirts, skater dresses, and, alluding to Killstar again, because where everything is so short, I know that their tops, if you put it on or see it on the smaller models, it may look like it's on the waistline. By the time you've put a bust into that, it literally sits at empire line on me. So I know that their skater dresses will always flatter me, regardless of what type, pattern, or whatever it is that I go for. But yeah, I do feel that you have to have an awareness of your body, an awareness of how things look, and not just throw any old thing together.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's difficult as well when you're talking about patterns and things.
Yeah, I think so, because I think if you generally are one of those, because obviously I don't care what people think, so I wear what I want. So if someone doesn't like my garish floral pattern with a bit of leopard print on top, I'm like, F you. But if you are one of those people who does generally think a little bit like, oh God, what's people going to think of this? You have to think a little bit about it, because some patterns do accentuate some of your body parts, obviously. You've got the stripe rule, but they say wear downward stripes because that's more flattering. I don't think that's necessarily true.
I don't think that's true. I've worn horizontal and I've worn pinstripe, and pinstripe has been less flattering on me than a horizontal striped t-shirt.
I will say that's true, because I found that actually, if you've got, like me, I do have quite the hourglassy kind of, the figure. So then when I'm at the side and I've got a bit of a stomach, so then even from the front, you can still notice that the pinstripes are a little bit wobbly.
They're quite wobbly.
And
I find because I'm wearing dress skirts, so if I wear a long skirt and it's pulled up under my bust and I've got a striped top on, then it kind of balances me out, because it does make my boobs look that little bit wider, so it automatically makes my waist look smaller.
Yeah.
So it gives me that illusion of having an even better figure again.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I'm not someone who knows how to mix patterns. So what's your advice to people about mixing maybe a floral and a leopard print, or a floral and a polka dot? What advice would you give people?
I love tartan colour mix up. Mix all the colour of tartans up. That's a great look.
I actually saw a young girl out the other week, and she had a split outfit, and it was a waistcoat. She had a mesh top, a double-breasted waistcoat, and a short skirt, kind of kiltish thing. And literally one half of it was bright yellow tartan, and the other half was bright red tartan.
Yeah.
Split straight down the middle, the waistcoat, the skirt, everything.
Yeah.
And it looked really cool. And I thought, you're not very old. I think she was with her parents in the pub. And I thought, you're probably about 15, 16. You could get away with that. I think if I tried to pull it off at my age,
no, you could.
I'm not sure that I could pull it. I might be able to pull off one piece, maybe the waistcoat, but I don't think the whole outfit for me would necessarily work. I don't know. I'm not good with.
I mean, maybe not. I won't at my age wear the mesh top, not because of my age, just because for me, I can't pull off a mesh top very well. But I would maybe with a long sleeve top.
See, now I wear mesh.
Yeah.
I wear mesh under dresses.
See,
I wear mesh under.
Because I love when Emily wear meshes, and even my friend Sophie. But I'm not a mesh person. Mesh just doesn't look right on me.
I'm not mesh and over underwear and nothing else.
Yeah, no, well, no, even that don't. But I'm just, it doesn't suit me. I don't know what it is. Me and mesh.
Really?
Me and mesh don't mesh.
Oh dear. No, I love a good mesh moment. The reason I like mesh is because, middle-aged woman syndrome, we get hot all the time.
Yeah.
I find that if I put mesh on my arms, my arms are covered because they're big.
Yeah.
And I'm not one that, I'm getting better at showing them off.
Yeah.
But I don't always like it. And if I'm having a bit of an insecure moment, if I have a nice dress, then I will stick a mesh top underneath it and I will feel like I'm covered, even though I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm also not hot.
Yeah.
So I find that the mesh just gives me that bit of psychological security with my fashion.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but it works. Yeah. But yeah, I love a good mesh top.
Yeah. I don't know, it doesn't work for me.
I did have some mesh dresses, but I never really got on with them.
Yeah.
I felt like I was over layering, if that makes sense. So even if I put on black leggings and a long vest top, if I then put on a mesh dress over the top,
Yeah.
although over a long vest top and leggings I'd have worn a jumper, for some reason the mesh dress, it just made me feel like it was too many layers. It was a really weird sensation when I wore it, and I don't know whether it was because it was the wrong type of mesh dress, the way it hung. There was just something not gelling with me in the way it looked. But yeah, I do love a long sleeve mesh top under a lot of things.
Maybe it's like you have to be like a proper goth. Maybe I'm not goth enough for it.
What, not good goth enough for fishnet?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then you like fishnets over coloured tights.
I love fishnet tights, but it's the tops. They just don't suit me.
How weird.
I know.
All the things you can wear, that's the bit you can't. You can go out in garish floral prints with a leopard print jacket, but you cannot wear a mesh top. We will convert you. Somehow we will convert you.
I just think I look like a twat in it.
I didn't think it was possible to look a twat in a mesh top.
No, well, apparently it does.
I mean, if Brandon Lee can pull it off in The Crow, then, you know, you can pull it off.
Well, Brandon Lee, but yeah. But yeah, I like tartan. I love Clash of Me tartans. I love polka dot.
Wasn't there a film called Clash of the Titans? Oh no, Clash of the Titans, wasn't it? It's close.
Polka dot. I love. With animal prints.
See, I've seen clashing polka dots. I saw a girl wear a black skirt with white polka dots, and she had a white blouse with red polka dots.
Oh, that sounds divine.
And the top had really small, like, pinprick polka dots on it.
Yeah.
And the skirt had like 1/4 inch polka dots, so not massive big spots. But she worked it, and it looked really, really good.
I love size mixing and stuff like that with polka dots, and same with tartans. You can get the really tight tartan and the bigger print tartan. I just think it's just beautiful to see all these different, because houndstooth check is my favourite print of all.
I do love a good houndstooth check. Black and white skirt. Pencil skirt looks amazing.
And again, you've got all the different sizes, and I love mixing that as well. There's nothing more beautiful than a houndstooth.
I'm sure I had a houndstooth coat when I was younger.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely. And do you know what? Patterns for me are really nostalgic as well, because I absolutely love paisley.
Yes. Now the thing is, but you don't see it these days, do you?
Well, I've got
it's really
big
weird.
Paisleys on my bum cheeks, so that's nostalgia for you.
It's just one of those things that's kind of.
I think it kind of made a comeback.
It made a comeback in the 80s, and it made a comeback early 2000s.
Yeah.
But again, the closest thing I've seen to paisley recently, and I hate to use the name again, was the Woodstock print that came out by Killstar. They actually had that kind of paisley teardrop thing in it.
I got a couple of years ago a couple of skirts with paisley on. One was from a vintage fair, and one was from Primark. And anything I can find that's paisley in my size, I buy it.
You would have loved me. So when I was about 16, we were going to an event, and the stipulation of, I can't remember what event it was, but it was you had to wear white. And I went, well, if I'm wearing white, I'm going my style white. And we're talking late 80s. So, no, you know, it was one of those kinds of events, early 90s. And I convinced my mum to let me buy this 3-piece suit. Now, wait for it. It was a short white cotton denim skirt with a matching cropped long-sleeved jacket and a matching waistcoat. But the sleeves, do you remember when you might be a little bit young to remember, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but there used to be a trend where they would put fabric cuffs, and the fabric was only like 3 or 4 inches up the inside of the sleeve, and it was seamed, and it was a pain because you used to catch nails in it as you put your jacket on. Then you have to shove it back up the sleeve. But it had brown, like a gingery brown, and turquoise blue and white paisley. And then the back of the waistcoat had the same, and then the back pockets of the skirt had the same fabric on. And I thought I was the bee's knees. I paired it with a plain white t-shirt and I was like, I am good to go. Big pair of brown boots and I was it, you know. And I look back now and I think, good God, did Cyndi Lauper dress you? It just really wasn't a good moment in your life.
She would have been proud. This is the thing. Do you know what? There's not any photos of when I was younger where I think, oh my God, what was I wearing? I was like, I'd wear that now. I look back at pictures of my aunties, of my cousins, being like, oh, where can I get something?
Have you got one bit of clothing that you had as a kid that you wish you still had? Because I've got two.
Yes, I have. What have I got? I had a pretty damn floral outfit that I know that my mum really hated. Very pinks, yellows, and greens. And I think it was a play suit. I think it was a play suit I was thinking of earlier. And I went to my first school disco, and it was Spice Girls kind of era.
Yeah.
And everyone was wearing like really cute like pinks and, you know, blues and this, that, and the other. And I wore a little black dress, but it wasn't just a little black dress.
Of course it wasn't.
It was a strapped, square-chested, straight down bodycon kind of dress. It came down to my knees, but it almost looked like the wool of a sheep, and it was woolly, but it had little brown, like little black. It was black, little black curls on it, where it was like woolly.
Okay.
And it was a really strange dress, but everyone come up to me and was like, "Oh my God, where did you get your dress? It's really cool."
They probably thought it was really expensive as well.
Because it was so different to what everyone else was wearing. Everyone else was wearing like the proper 90s colours, and I walk in a little black dress kind of thing. I mean, I was like bloody 9-10 years old, and I can't remember how I had my hair. I think I had it in just a ponytail, but I just remember, like, my mum worked on the school committee as well, doing like the sweet shop and that, and selling the hot dogs. And I remember always getting like little free hot dogs and sweeties. And I just remember walking in not really caring because I hated school. I was a very depressed young girl anyway. And I just didn't even want to go, I don't think. But, you know, you had to do these social things. And I was just really surprised that everyone really liked my dress because I was like, but I didn't even really dress up. I looked like crap.
You would laugh at mine. So I had, and I vaguely remember, I was probably about 3. I think I had it, I kept it because I remember being 5 and going, I want to wear that dress. And my mum was like, it's never going to fit you again. You can give it to your doll, but it's never going to fit you. And I had one of those kind of almost life-size walking, talking doll things that are kind of creepy now. And my doll wore the dress, but it was like a wine red velvet. And it had elasticated sleeves at the bottom cuffs with a little frill cuff with white. And it had a collar with white little lace around the edge, and it had white pearl buttons down the front, and it had a white, like, again, kind of a smocked, but like a diamond pattern, and it buttoned down to the waist, and then it went straight, not straight down, but kind of like little girl dresses do, kind of flared out a little bit, and then it had an extra ruffle with the white lace on the bottom, and I loved that dress. It was my Christmas dress, and I tried to wear it as often as I could, and I'm like, it just won't fit me anymore, so it has to go on my doll. And the other one I actually got from my granddad, and I don't know who it belonged to, whether it was my dad's when he was a kid, whether it was one of my older cousins that it belonged to, whether it was my uncle's, I don't know, but it was a 70s, original 70s zip up cardigan in brown with the big knitted fold over collar that became a turtleneck or a collar, and the corduroy patches on the elbows.
Nice.
And I loved that thing. I don't know what happened to it. I think it just got to the point that it just fell apart.
Yeah.
But I lived in it. It even had the patches on the front of the shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that thing. If I could get a black one now, I would be in heaven.
Yeah.
Because it just went with everything. The skirts, it went with dungarees, because I was a bit of a tomboy between the ages of like 4 and 7. I liked dungarees and not dresses. I had red dungarees and yellow dungarees and green dungarees. As long as they were dungarees, I didn't care what colour they were. I just wasn't wearing dresses. But I really wish I could get that cardigan again.
Yeah.
But then when you see them now and people go, they're like granddad cardigans, I'm like, yeah, but they're warm.
Yeah.
They're functional. and they look really cool.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, those were the days. I think it even had zipped pockets, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had zipped pockets on it. It was one of the first thing that I ever had.
Yeah.
That you could zip the pockets up. But like going back to what we were saying about patterns, Paisley seems to have died out. What's happened to herringbone? Do you remember the coats that you used to get that were like the black and white chevron pattern, like woven wool chevron pattern? It's called herringbone, like little zigzags.
Oh yeah,
And the wool
think I
would
might
be
have
a
seen
mixed.
some of them coming out. Oh no, I'm not. I'm
Can't
thinking
see
of a
it.
different one. No,
Charity shops is the only place I see it these days.
There has been a New Girl Order have come out with I can't remember what they're called now. My brain's gone dead. Sorry.
That's all right.
You know, like the fleecy jackets.
Yeah.
That remind me a bit of that. That were back in like the kind of
the teddy bear coats.
Kind of, but not like the fashionable ones, but that had the patterns in.
Oh yeah.
New Girl Order have got a whole bunch of them in, and some of them have got quite funky patterns on that remind me of what you were just saying.
I remember having a herringbone coat. It's my first proper school coat that made me feel like a proper lady.
Yeah.
It was just, but it is weird how fashion comes around. But before we run out of time, because it's getting late in the day today, what do you say to anyone who wants to get into wearing, you know, mixed match of passion? Should we try that one again? A mixed bag of patterns. I mean, obviously, it's not me. I'm not scared of lace patterns, but anything with colour, no. I mean, what would you say to somebody who would want to get into that?
Just start small. Just maybe try mixing, you know, pattern sizes first, and then try colours. So if you want to wear white polka dot, maybe get white blouse or white polka dots, but with big polka dots on and small polka dots. Mix that, and then you could do your tartans, mixing the colours, mixing the sizes. Again with your houndstooth, and then you could mix like your polka dots and your leopard prints.
And what about florals? Can you do big florals and little florals?
Definitely.
Or does it have to be all
mix
little florals?
All the floral colours up. Oh my god. I tell you what's a really good brand if you want to get brave. And you don't even need to mix them up because they just mix it up for you. It's Offend My Eyes.
Okay.
And they do gender, non-binary, and they do drag race stuff, and they do colour galore fashion. And that's like my Octopussy cushion. And they basically, it's just all colourful, and you basically it just inspires you to get colourful.
See, I've been watching Drag Race, but the original Drag Race. I haven't got onto UK yet, so no spoilers. But I've been looking when they did one in, I think it was season 12, might have been 13, but I'm pretty sure it was 12. They did a black thing, and it was like, it wasn't, was it meant to be goth or something? But some of them had these most beautiful black dresses, and I'm like, where do you shop?
Yeah,
because you're not all skinny. I want that one. And there was one on there who came out in the most, I think it might have been season 10, one of the bigger drag queens came out in the most beautiful Cadbury's purple coat, and I'm like, I need
Cadbury's
that
purple
coat.
is like one of my favourite colours.
And they, in part, like, under the interview thing, was like, oh yeah, I made it. And I'm like, I hate you. I want to be able to wear that. Can I come find you on Instagram and see if you've still got it? Can I have it, please? Because it would fit me. It's just like, oh, I get quite jealous.
I get jealous of their sewing skills. It's insane.
But I mean, I'm quite eccentric when it comes to accessories. I'm not scared of wearing a fascinator and a harness with my outfits in town, you know. And if I always look at it that the further I push my fashion, and the more different it is, I can't think what the word is, but the more, not outlandish, but the more there is for people to look at, the less they actually comment. Because if being a big girl, if I go out and I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt, people see my weight before they see my outfit. Whereas if I go out, and it actually happened when kind of lockdown eased in 2020, and we were allowed to go out for that whole 2 weeks before we all got shoved into lockdown again. I wore a dress and tights with a long floaty cardigan over the top and a big poofy fascinator. so many compliments because I
Yeah.
had a gothic lace mask as well to go with it. But if I'd gone out tracksuit bottoms and a jumper, I'd have had so many evil stares
Yeah.
with a look at the state of that. But I think because I put something interesting in my fashion, people were more like, oh my God, your fascinator looks amazing, or oh, that's really pretty, other than, oh, that doesn't suit her, that's too small, that's the wrong length.
It's projecting your personality, and that's what I feel fashion is. Fashion is expressing yourself. Fashion is, it's a part of your identity. It's letting people know what's on the inside. Not just your body is just on the outside. At the end of the day, fashion is giving a piece of your personality and what's in your brain, what's your identity.
And I think we've said it before, you I'm pretty sure you said, if it's on the catwalk, it's there to be worn.
Yeah.
Just there are certain things on a catwalk that are done as conceptual shows.
Yeah.
And they are very
and then they're
couture. They are literally just
watered
for
down
a
to
fashion
go
shoot.
into. This is the thing when people say things are copied and this, that, and the other. Everything is copied. Nothing's original anymore. Nothing is original. Yes, there are the stupid fucking people ducking people who literally copy like Sugar and Stuff, the brand I love, and then Shein has then copied literally her own little cartoon drawing and then made their own badges.
Yeah,
like,
that's not good. But when you're talking about fashion houses,
yeah,
then they're there to be projected that this is the designer end,
yeah.
but the high street is going to get influenced very heavily by what they bring out.
Topshop and River Island and all that, they don't design though. They take that off the catwalk, it gets watered down onto the high street,
yeah,
and then you buy it, and that's fast fashion.
How do we make it in a cheaper fabric that's affordable, and what frills and accessories can we take off it?
But then River Island and Topshop are not even cheap. The thing is, they make all of their stuff just as cheap as Primark and that do. Primark gets so much hate and stuff, but at the same time, River Island, Topshop, all of those shops, they are ripping off their clients, because they're also, River Island and Topshop were part of the massive scandal where people were finding out that their little faux fur things were freaking cat fur.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. But like you said, my take on it has always been, because I've had people say to me, oh, but should I wear that being a size 20 or a size 28? I'm like, if they wouldn't make it, if it's made in your size, somewhere along the line, someone has said it's okay to wear. So if you want to wear that green boob tube with your red bikini on the beach in Ibiza, and you're a size 26, get on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you want to wear and you're comfortable and you're confident to wear it, put it on, because life is too short.
Life is far too short.
You break all the fashion rules.
How long you're on this goddamn earth for.
Certainly not.
Enjoy it. Eat that chocolate biscuit, put on the bikini, and shake your booty.
Definitely. And on that note, I think we'll call it a day.
Yes.
So thank you very much, MissJigglePuff, for being with us again. We have thoroughly enjoyed, and
You're
welcome. Hope that we'll be back very, very soon. And to all you wonderful ravens, thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying these new style of podcasts. I'm certainly enjoying them more. And I hope to continue doing these. And I'm looking at some other interesting people to interview as well. One who is hopefully, fingers crossed, going to be set up for me, who was a plus size model for a particular brand. So that should be an interesting one, because I'd love to chat with them about their experience. But yes, as always, I'm going to sign off here. We have waffled for way too long. And as always, my wonderful ravens, just do you.